All right, gang, and welcome back. So this is one of my favorite lessons in the entire course. This is about how to use the brush profile to create an artistic stroke. Now, creating a stroke without a pen tablet is one of the easiest and quickest ways to really communicate your unique style. So if you open up this file in your reference folder, you've got 3 semicircles. Let's go ahead and zoom on into this top one here. I gave you 3 of them because we're going to be using all 3. All right, so let's take a look at our brushes panel. So let's undock the brushes panel. All right, now if you see the brushes panel, I'm on the assorted tab. You'll see that some of these have a consistent width from beginning to end. So anywhere you see where it's as thick on the end as it is in the middle, that means that there's no size variance allowed. But you'll see some of these, like this one down here, begins very, very skinny, gets very thick in the center, and then comes down and gets very skinny on the end. This has pressure sensitivity. So let's go ahead and open this up. You'll see in the panel that size variance is listed, and there's a certain amount of size variance. Now what happens if I crank this up? Notice the tail ends of that go away. If I crank it down, it becomes uniform. Crank it up, the tail ends get smaller. Where you see this in a brush, it is a candidate for a stroke profile. Okay, so brushes that have this have size variance allowed if you open up this options panel. Okay, there's a lot more on vector brushes that we'll get into in a later lesson, but I wanted to show you how this applies. Now, let's bring out your stroke panel now. And I'm getting you practice docking and undocking your panels. And now there's a box down here that says pressure. In the brush panel, if you see the ends are small, that means this will make a difference. So let me show you what I mean. All you have to do is watch this first one. I'm going to make sure my black object selection tool is highlighted, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on the pressure box. Now you'll see a blue square and a white square. Now if I click once, you'll see that there's a white dot and a blue dot in each box. All right, now if I click on one of these, notice the blue dot and the white dot still, and I pull down. Notice it drops like an entire bar. Look at what happens to that half circle that we had selected. As I raise it up, the stroke gets thicker. As I raise it down, the stroke gets thinner. That's because there's a consistent profile. Now, let's go ahead and click one more time, but just on the blue box. And now I drag it down. Look at what happens to the stroke. Very thin, very thick. This is what is called the stroke profile. Now I can raise that back up. Now if I wanted to change it up, click and hold. And now why is it moving both of them? Because I have a white and a blue dot. I want to click again until the dots disappear. And now I want to click and hold just to move one. This takes a little bit of practice, folks. There will be 100 times you'll move both of them. So stroke profile can be set without a tablet on brushes that have pressure sensitivity. Okay, so let's move that back up. Now, what if you want to change the stroke profile and you want it to get really, say, thin in the beginning? So let's drop this down. But then you want it to get super thick in the middle. Click anywhere on that line and it creates a new node. Now you can shift it like any other graph. Notice as I shift it what's happening. Okay, now I've got a stroke profile that starts out skinny, goes to thick, and ends up thin. Now let's say I like that. I can save that profile. Now it's a saved profile. Now, let me show you what can be done with that. Let's go ahead and zoom out and drop down here. If I click on this guy now, and I come down to pressure, I can apply the profile to the line. Now I can change every single line in my design with this super simple profile. This is extremely powerful, folks. All right, now if you want to delete a profile, you just click on this little delete key right here, the X, and it goes away. You can reset the profile, super easy. Then if you want to click out of it, you just click out of it. Okay, now it's time for you guys to do something. Let's go here. Let's use the little circle. Let's click on the profile, and I want you to delete this node. To do that, you just click on the node and hit delete. Now you're back to a standard profile. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do now is create a profile that gets super skinny in the middle. So go ahead and pause the video. Let's check it out. All right, so how'd you do it? Let's go ahead and create a new node. We create a new node and we pull it down. Now we have what looks like a quasi Under Armour logo. Now, if we like that, we can save the profile. And if we wanted to adjust the profile ever so slightly, we could do that too. We could create a custom profile like that. If we like that, we can save it. All right, now let's come down here to this one and let's apply one of your saved profiles to that line and apply one of your saved profiles to this line. All right, folks, that's really all there is to it. So in your stroke panel, this pressure box for brushes with pressure sensitivity can have its stroke adjusted using a custom profile. This is the difference between amateur night and professional night, folks, is your custom stroke profile without a tablet. This is how you set it. All right, this is going to come in handy because we're going to be putting it all together in later lessons, but I wanted to get this in your hands right now today. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get on to the next lesson. Did a great job. Custom stroke profiles are one of your calling cards as an artist. See you in the next lesson.